What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. And as you can see, I got a Commanders hat, so that means I'm a super fan. Just to let y'all know, don't attack me, because I am a super fan, because I now got Commanders merch. Well, actually I don't. This is my little brother's hat. But, hey, it still shows my support, right? Right? I mean, I don't want y'all to be mad at me and stuff like that, but it does show my support, right? It does do that, right? But let me say this. I know that sometimes a lot of y'all think that I'm this negative Nancy or something like that when I am giving you guys honest opinion. Like I told y'all, I'm straight down the middle when it comes to this stuff. I'm never on one side or the other side. And I think that some of y'all think, well, I'm not going to say some of y'all. There are a lot of y'all that think this. But this is one thing about it. There's certain people that comment on my video that I have to respond to because I love these people. You know what I'm saying? Cedric Moore, that's a guy that I absolutely love. Merle Locklear, absolutely love him. YT Renley, I absolutely love him. Daddy Yanks, absolutely love him. My man Tone from Protect Sports, sub him up, good guy. When people speak on my comments, and especially when they speak on my comments, I always try my best to make sure that I explain more to them to why I think the way that I am. And this is why I have to do this, because these particular people, I respect them very much. I respect their opinions. I respect what they're saying, and I want them to understand where I'm coming from, just so they can get what I mean, right? So here it is. The reason I'm not blaming Eric Beiniemy for any of this is because Eric Beiniemy did everything he could to put Sam Howell in a situation to make it possible for him to have success. He really did that. Early in the game, I wanted to come back before the All-22s come out, because once that comes out, everybody's going to get the glimpse that they were not expecting. When the game started, Eric Beiniemy was trying his best to have Sam Howell under center and in shotgun. But understand, everybody was saying the exact same thing, but they weren't going further enough. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he was in shotgun. Yes, he was in shotgun. You are correct. Yes, he was in shotgun. Why was he in shotgun? Now understand, for some, the light just turned on. You know why he was in shotgun. Historically, when you think about shotgun, historically, what shotgun was used for? Historically in the NFL, shotgun has always been used to do what? Like, really think about that. Shotgun has historically always been used to do what? Yes, that's right. It's always been used to beat the blitz. And that was the adjustment Eric Beiniemy made for Sam Howell. Not only did he make that adjustment, he gave Sam Howell the ability to sit up there and identify his quick routes. There were so many routes that Sam Howell had available to him that he chose not to take. And then there were points where Sam Howell was just throwing the balls just for the sake of throwing the ball. Just threw it just to be throwing it. Didn't have a rhyme, reason, or direction, just threw it. And when you think about it, don't you think that as a coach, it's difficult to constantly call plays and you got a quarterback that's not getting it? Like the whole time, well, he's dropping back too much. If you watch the game, he wasn't dropping back that much. Eric Beiniemy purposely put him in the shotgun to see the blitz. To see the blitz. And there were plenty of times that the Giants sat up there, like the Giants don't hide that they're blitzing. They weren't hiding that they were blitzing. It was obvious. All Sam Howell had to do, identify the routes, and get it out there and throw it. But he didn't do that. And it wasn't a thing of him holding the ball or anything like that. He just didn't identify the routes. Or he sat up there and focused on what he identified one route, and if that route wasn't there, he didn't care. An example of that, and guess what? We actually saw an example of that before Washington scored. First and goal, I think they were on the 7-yard line. First and goal on the 7-yard line. This is after Shepard's muffed punt. First and goal at the 7. Sam Howell basically comes from under center and just tosses the ball over into the end zone. Didn't see nothing about that route made it clear that Curtis Samuel was going to be open. He was double covered, people. Not only was he double covered, Curtis Samuel tripped up in the end zone, and there was no way for him to catch the ball. That particular play, if you watch even what the Giants did, Sam Howell could have easily scanned the field and found somebody else to throw the ball to. He didn't do it. What is Eric Beiniemy supposed to do? What is Eric Beiniemy supposed to do? That wasn't the only time he heaved the pass and didn't even care where the pass was going. The long bomb to Terry McLaurin. Guess what? He heaved that ball. He didn't care where that ball was going. He just threw it over there. That makes no sense, y'all. There's no way you can watch him play and think that he's this franchise quarterback. And then to blame Eric Beiniemy for this, what else is Eric Beiniemy supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? This isn't a Scott Turner situation where Scott Turner is just calling bad plays. This is something where Eric Beiniemy is doing everything he can to basically make sure that Sam Howell is able to identify quick routes. There was a route where John Bates runs straight across the middle of the field. Nobody's touching him. Nobody's covering him. Somehow, someway, Sam Howell doesn't get the ball there. And I'm not sitting here saying that the offensive line played this fantastic game or nothing. No, they didn't. But guess what? There was a lot of stuff where Sam Howell was just doing stuff. I told y'all in my last video, there were plays where Sam Howell throws directly at a receiver that is clearly covered. And he did that several times. So yes, I can't blame Eric Beiniemy when you sit up there and you watch all the adjustments Eric Beiniemy tried to do. He brought in extra blockers. Like I said again, he put Sam Howell in the shotgun. He kept him in the shotgun and brought in extra blockers. There was nothing Eric Beiniemy could call that could get Sam Howell into a rhythm because Sam Howell chose not to be in a rhythm. Sam Howell chose not to be in a rhythm. And I want to say this. I understand that this quarterback carousel is something, but also recognize this. Sam Howell isn't even as talented as Dwayne Haskins was. He just wasn't. And to see Sam Howell sit up there and do some of the stuff that he does, it's sad, y'all. And I want to give my testimony in regards to this quarterback carousel that we've been on for years. My entry onto the quarterback carousel starts in 1994, right? Actually, it starts a year before that. In 1993, moving into 94. I grew up in DC, so you got to understand that for me, everything, like we had the ACC, right? The ACC, there were only 9 teams in the ACC when I was growing up. 9. It was 9 teams. Of all those teams in the ACC, Florida State was the team. Coached by Bobby Bowden, Florida State was the team. Washington, coming into the 1994 season, needed a quarterback. At the time, Charlie Ward was the quarterback in his senior season of Florida State. Charlie Ward is, without a shadow of a doubt, the best quarterback in the draft. He is far superior to any other quarterback that is going into the NFL draft. And for people who grew up in DC, we all remember this. 1994, I remember everybody was excited. Charlie Ward just won the national title for Florida State. He also sat up there and he had just won the Heisman Trophy that year. He had 27 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. And I actually think he had 30 touchdowns because I think he rushed for 3 or something like that. So altogether, I think he had 30 touchdowns or 30-something touchdowns and 3 interceptions. This guy was going to be the real deal dual threat quarterback. Yes, he had what they deemed a height issue, but he was still more effective than any other quarterback coming into the draft. And I remember everyone around the city was like, oh my God, Washington is going to get Charlie Ward. Did y'all see Charlie Ward's season this year in the ACC? He sat up there and won the national title with Florida State. He had 30-something touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And I remember, and for some of y'all, again, if you didn't grow up in DC, you may not know some of this stuff. Everybody, the whole city was like, oh, we're getting Charlie Ward. I remember everybody was like, it's the perfect match. He's going to go from the Seminoles to the Redskins. It's almost like he didn't even change uniforms. That was the talk of the city. Even George Michael. I remember George Michael, and I think it was George Michael and Sonny Jurgensen. They had this show. But this was before Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon was on that show. But I can't remember the other people that was on the show with him. But I remember George Michael and Sonny Jurgensen going crazy about, and this was right at that particular show. It was just announced that Heath Schuler and Trent Dilfer were the top 2 quarterbacks. And George Michael and Sonny Jurgensen are going, wow. They're like, wait a minute. Charlie Ward is the best quarterback in college football. He just won the Heisman Trophy. He's accurate. He's a great quarterback. He's also, because this was before the word mobile, they were like he was agile. He's a very agile quarterback. And everybody was talking about this. Charlie Ward was going to be a Washington Redskin. Next thing we know, there's talks that Charlie Ward isn't even going to be in the NFL draft because teams are telling him that he won't be drafted till the 3rd or 5th round. Everybody is like, there's no way There's no way in hell Washington is bypassing Charlie Ward. Charlie Ward is going to be a Redskin. Everything's going to be great. This is going to be awesome. All this type of stuff, right? Heath Shuler is drafted. Charlie Ward gets drafted to the NBA. And we have been on this quarterback carousel ever since. And I understand for a lot of you. Some of y'all memories start from the same time mine does. Some of y'all got on the carousel the same time I got on. Some of y'all remember the talk around DC about Charlie Ward being our future quarterback. Some of you are trying to force Sam Howell to be the franchise because you're just over the quarterback carousel. And I get it. You're over it. I'm tired. Jesus Christ. At least Ron likes this quarterback. At least he's not saying the reason we're losing is quarterback anymore. He found a guy that he absolutely likes. I'm tired of this quarterback talk. I'm over it. I'm over it. Yes, Sam Howell is the guy. But guess what? You're also missing a lot of his faults. A lot of the things he shouldn't be doing. Understand, Sam Howell is doing 12 times worse than what Dwayne Haskins was being accused of doing. Sam Howell is missing a lot of open receivers. He's missing routes. He's throwing to receivers that are clearly covered. Clearly covered. He's missing stuff, people. And again, Eric Beiniemy did what he could for him. Eric Beiniemy did everything he could. He tried his best to call up and dial up plays to help him out. He put him in the shotgun so he can see the blitz. He did that. And y'all got to understand that sometimes when it comes to this type of stuff, you got to blame the player in this situation. And this is one of those situations where you have to blame Sam for it. You have to. Now understand that a lot of you may get mad at me after this, but some of you may now get where I'm coming from. And I wanted to make sure I did this before the All-22s came out. Once the All-22s come out, you guys are going to see that Sam Howell is not the answer. You're going to see all the mistakes he's making. You're going to see him heave the ball without even looking to where he's actually heaving the ball. He's just throwing it. I understand he's a young quarterback. I get it. But guess what? There's so much an offensive coordinator can do before you just say, what else is there to do? I done called every type of thing possible. I put him in the shotgun. I gave him extra protection. I gave him quick routes. I gave him open routes. All he had to do was scan the field and throw. And that doesn't, again, I'm not sitting here saying his offensive line played the best. No, his offensive line didn't play the best. But there were a lot of routes that was going on that Sam could have got the ball to prior to the rush getting to him. Not only that, again, if you're in the shotgun, identify your routes immediately so you can go there quickly. You can actually anticipate throwing early. Again, said, you my man, I love you, bro. I love you to death. But that's why I can't blame Eric Beiniemy. And once the All-22s come out, you're going to see it too. And I get it. We're all over the quarterback carousel. I get that. But that doesn't mean, just because you're tired of being on the carousel, doesn't mean that you're supposed to jump off and into the hands of the first person who's there to catch you. Sam Howell may get better, but he's not the answer. And understand, he's playing like this, and we haven't seen the top defenses on our schedule yet. He struggled against the Bears. He struggled against the Giants. And don't get me wrong, the Giants actually have a really good defense. But Sam Howell is struggling. And once we see Dallas and we get the Eagles again, the Eagles is coming up and the Eagles is actually here. So you're talking about we get the Eagles again. We're going to see Dallas. You're talking about the 49ers. There are so many teams that we got to see that have defenses that will hurt Sam. So Sam has to do what he's supposed to do if he's going to be looked at as a legitimate quarterback. But until Sam does that, guess what? I'm not going to blame Eric Beiniemy for nothing. Nothing. Because he's doing everything he can to put Sam Howell in the best situations possible. And Sam Howell is just not getting it done. Y'all tell me what y'all think. How do y'all feel about what I'm saying right now? How do y'all feel if I'm right about this? Other than that, this has been your man, John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.